Established in 2010, the ARTBA Foundation's Transportation Development Hall of Fame pays tribute to individuals or families from the public and private sectors who have made extraordinary contributions to U.S. transportation development and demonstrated exceptional leadership over their lifetime. The inductees for the 2014 and 2015 classes are being honored in two categories: innovators and leaders. Horatio Sawyer Earl was a pioneer for the good roads movement in Michigan and nationally. He began the quest for good roads in Michigan even before the automobile age. He organized the first International Good Roads Conference in 1900 and provided a demonstration of modern road building techniques in Port Huron. Earl, appointed Michigan's Commissioner of Highways in 1902, tirelessly promoted state aid for roads and authored the first state aid road law. He burst onto the national stage in 1901 when he was the first to propose a national network of interstate highways. In February 1902, he formed the American Roadmakers, today's American Road and Transportation Builders Association, to push for federal legislation to create a capital-connecting government highway, which he said would connect every state capital with every other state capital, and every capital with the United States capital, Washington. Earl's vision was fulfilled with the 1956 law signed by President Dwight Eisenhower authorizing the interstate highway system and creating the Highway Trust Fund to finance its construction. Called a gentle persuader by Engineering News Record magazine, James D. Pitcock's impacts in the transportation construction industry spans 6 decades. Doug was one of the founders of Houston-based Williams Brothers Construction in 1955. As the chief executive officer since that time, he has driven the strategy, making Williams Brothers one of America's largest and most successful highway heavy construction firms. Pitcock has been a powerful advocate for increased highway funding at the federal and state levels and the use of innovative financing on transportation projects. His voluntary service to the industry is unrivaled. In 1976, he was appointed to the National Transportation Policy Study Commission by President Gerald Ford. An ARTBA board member for years, Pitcock is also a past national president of the Associated General Contractors of America and was twice elected president of AGC of Texas. Over many years, Pitcock has been a major financial supporter of the programs administered by ARTBA's Transportation Development Foundation and the association's Transportation Makes America Work advocacy program. His list of industry honors is long, including being named in 2002 as one of America's top 100 private sector transportation design and construction professionals of the 20th century. Give good measure. Those were the words Sanford High communicated to his employees in 1931 when he launched a small welding shop in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. From its humble roots, High Welding Company was established with a keen focus on innovation and serving customers, and serving them well. This came to be known as the Highway, a set of founding principles that today still very much permeates the diverse and growing number of organizations that are part of the High companies. High pioneered the welded bridge concept, saving time and money for cash-strapped highway departments during the Great Depression. He convinced skeptical engineers that highway bridges presented a new frontier for welding instead of riveting. His tenacity paid off during a 1933 experimental welded bridge project in York County, Pennsylvania. High Welding Company grew in the number of workers and job complexity. In the late 1950s, automated welding equipment was adopted, revolutionizing heavy girder construction and leading the movement to faster, lower-cost submerged arc welding, which is the predominant process in use at high steel structures today. An expansion of Sanford's initial vision, High Steel Structures has gone on to become one of the largest and most successful fabricators of steel bridge superstructures in the United States. Jim Oberstar believed good policy made good politics. For more than 40 years, as a congressional staffer and then a senior member of the U.S. House of Representatives, Oberstar combined an encyclopedic knowledge of intermodal transportation issues with a practical ability to forge consensus among parties with divergent perspectives. The end result was a long, unmatched list of legislative achievements in the transportation arena. Oberstar was a recognized authority on aviation safety matters and chaired the House Aviation Subcommittee from 1989 to 1994 and the Subcommittee on Investigations and Oversight from 1987 through 1989. He successfully fought for safer airline cabins, adequate emergency exits, and floor proximity directional lighting. He served as the chairman of the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee from 2007 through 2010. He also was a driving force and the author of historic federal highway, bridge, and public transportation investment laws in 1991, 1998, and 2005. His goal throughout his congressional career was simple: to always make travel in the U.S. more safe, efficient, and accessible for all Americans. He was the first member of ARTBA's Research and Education Division to be elected chairman of the board, and now he's the first educator inducted into the Hall of Fame. University of Texas civil engineering professor Dr. Mike Walton has been a transformative figure for more than 40 years, connecting academia with industry, public policy, and government through his consulting relationships with approximately 30 state transportation departments and his volunteer leadership positions in national organizations. Beyond serving as ARTBA chairman, Walton was chair of the Transportation Research Board Executive Committee and founding member and chairman of the Intelligent Transportation Society of America. And he was appointed by the Governor of Texas to chair the committee responsible for defining the state's transportation funding and mobility needs by 2030. He has contributed to more than 500 publications in the areas of intelligent transportation systems, freight transport, and transportation engineering, planning, policy, and economics. In the process, he helped shape the transportation policy at both the federal and state levels. But most importantly, Dr. Walton has helped shape the minds of hundreds of his students who today are making major contributions to transportation research and engineering. He made national news in the 1990s as he racked up more than 10 million frequent flyer miles on Delta Airlines. But his most notable achievement came from what he did on the ground. Wallace Hawks is credited with originating the design and first application of the Single Point Urban Interchange, or SPUI, more than 40 years ago on State Route 60 in Clearwater, Florida. The innovation became widely used in cities across America, particularly in dense urban areas. Its unique feature was an inverted left turn lane, which allowed left turns to be made simultaneously over or under a free-flowing road, and in a considerably smaller space. An additional space-saving feature was the use of a single traffic signal to control the interchange, compared to the 2 or more signals used at conventional interchanges. A registered professional engineer in nearly 30 states, Hawks spent his entire 56-year career in senior executive leadership positions with URS and its legacy company, J.R. Greiner, developing problem-solving solutions for clients on a global scale. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to the 2014 and 2015 ARTBA Foundation's Hall of Fame classes.